Rise Band for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to have with me the man, the myth, the legend, the man who's a bit overweight at the moment as well, Mr. Francis Warren. Francis, how are you doing?
If only we could all be as handsome as you, eh?
Far from it, mate, far from it. Where's the heating today?
Mate, it's just not on, is it? Just thought I'd keep you all on your toes. Make sure you keep you shivering. You better hold that steady, like that.
Francis, fight week, Lyndon Arthur, Arthur-Yarde, a year almost to the date exactly. Looking forward to it, firstly?
Yeah, it's going to be a great fight. It's a great fight. I mean, there's a lot going on around the fight, isn't there? It's just it's not just a rematch. Don't just call it a rematch. Boxing side of it, you've got obviously that WBO #1 spot up for grabs, and there's a lot of pride and passion at stake, and one guy wants to prove it wasn't just a flash in the pan, and the other guy wants to prove he had an off night. So it's one of those fights to where you're going to be sitting there going, and let's just watch and let's just enjoy and let's just best man win. Can't wait for it. It's just going to be. Listen, I'm not talking for either guy, but you don't get the feeling there's much goodwill towards each other. Obviously, they're not going to wish anything bad on each other, but they're not mates. And I don't even want to get into the Tunde and Pat situation because it's not. With all due respect, it's about Lyndon and Anthony and them fighting, obviously, and they have to carry out their trainer's instructions. But it's about these two guys and their next stage of their careers. And there's a lot for the winner, and I think it'll be a tough pill to swallow for the loser.
Was there any doubt that this fight was going to take place? I know there were some issues a couple of months ago about the date, then the venue, then the location, then the city, and then it looks like it was going to fall apart. It looks like it was going to go to the board and it was going to get a bit messy, but were you glad eventually you were able to sort it, get a date and get them both in the ring?
So we're in fight week for the fight, and don't even want to go into any negative aspects of how we got to fight week. There was a contract in place, and that's all that was necessary to get the fight done. And I think if you ask on hand on heart, both guys obviously they want the fight because like I just said, it's about confirming a right or righting a wrong, and it's there's the thing about did Lyndon's hand go? Could he have stopped Anthony? That's one. There's so many different questions or permutations as to why and what happened. On the first fight, did Anthony leave it too late? And could if he stepped on the gas a bit quicker, would he have stopped Lyndon? Can Lyndon just jab his way through Saturday night? I think I'm more interested in talking about the boxing aspects of this rather than venues and dates and all the other things. So I think everyone should just focus on the fact that we're here. We're ready to go, and I'm sure both guys are more than raring to get into that ring on Saturday night.
France, I know you've yourself, Queensbury Promotion, invested heavy in Arthur-Yarde. He obviously took that loss with Kovalev, took that loss with Lyndon last year. Is this must win for Anthony?
I think so. It's just, listen, there's no must win, for a young man who's got many years left in this sport. It's a must-win because it's on Saturday night and it's his next fight. And the same for Lyndon Arthur. It's both guys. It's a must-win fight because it's their next fight. And I don't think either guy will be looking anywhere near past any way, shape or form past the other. But human nature is human nature. Joe Smith Jr. is there. There's the Bivols, the Herbios, and that's the next level up, and for both guys, and that's what they want to achieve. Does a loss mean that the loser can't get back there in a year's time? No, absolutely not. But it's a long year. It's a long year. Anthony's had that loss, and it's not as easy, not an easy one to take. So he's knuckled down, he's got on with it, and he's back. He's back challenging for a #1 spot, and Lyndon is there defending his.
I want to talk about another fight, which is quite an intriguing fight. A lot of people saying it's 50-50, Hamza Shiraz and Bradley Skeet. Bradley, obviously, you worked with for a number of years, former British champion as well. good step up fight for Hamza and to see exactly where he is?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at Bradley. He's had, I think it was 18 title fights in his career, 18, 19 title fights in his career. Outright British champion, you know, several defensive WBO regional titles, and wasn't far off getting, you know, knocking on the door for a world title. I think he caught, you know, certain other, you know, world champions at his weight that were just, they were focused on other things, and unfortunately for Bradley, it didn't happen with the world title fight. But he did. You know, had a very. Bradley's career is very successful. I was going to say had a very successful career, but he's still going. And credit to him for coming back and wanting to go again. And he's up there with Dominic Ingle doing his thing, and going up in weight. And credit to him for stepping up against what I think is one of the next future stars of this sport, in Hamza Shiraz. I think for Hamza to take this fight shows that he's got, you know, he's obviously got ambition. He's going in against someone who's been there and done it at this level, at a regional level, and he's going in against someone who knows how to win a title fight. He knows how to grind out a fight and to win. Bradley's probably one of his most successful nights is against Sam Edgington as the away fighter. And that wasn't even in an away city as well. So Bradley's at home in London. Okay, he's the away fighter, but he knows all of us guys, so he probably feel a bit more comfortable than he did against Edgington. And look what he did against Edgington. So he's capable of doing it, Bradley Skeet, but I don't think he will be doing that on Saturday against Hamza, because I think Hamza's just too big, too strong, and too good.
I know we've got press conference, so I won't elaborate too much on the card, but obviously you've got a lot of your young guns on the card as well. You've got Charles Franklin just behind you, Dennis McCann, Carol Tuma as well. So stacked with the up-and-coming talent as well.
The other title fight we've got on the card, Sam Noakes against Sean Cooper for the BC International Silver. So that's Sam's first title fight and his 8th fight. He's 7 out of 7 with knockouts, 7 wins, 7 knockouts so far. And I just felt like he needed a little bit of something extra to go for. Fellow Brit with a very, very, very good record for a title over 10 rounds. So that's a step up for Sam. I think he's done about 450 tickets, so that'll be the Kent Massive will be in the house on Saturday night, cheering him on. And then, like you said, George Fox, Kamil Sokolowski is another good fight. George's 4th fight. Massive Respect to George for going, go on. Let's see where we are. David Adelaide had a go at him. Nathan Gormall went the distance with Sokolowski. So George Fox in fight number 5, he's gonna see where he's at, and I love that, and I think that's brilliant. And George gets taller every time I see him as well. I don't know what Don Charles is training that guy hard, and he's looking in great shape. Charles Franklin, it's great to have him on board. He brings a real positive energy to the shows that he's on, and he's got a great family and a great setup around him, and it's a pleasure to be working with Charles. And obviously we've got Carol Toma who's marching on to making a bit of a name for himself. He looks the part. He's fighting brilliantly. He's a consummate professional, and it's really, really good to see Carol doing so well as well, because he dedicates himself to it 100%.
Well, we'll look forward to the show on Saturday night. Franz, before I let you go, obviously
Dennis the Menace. Can't help but smile when you mention his name until he gets in the ring and you think, you nasty little bastard. But no, listen, Dennis is he's a star, isn't he? He's a star in the making, and there's something in the water at Alan Smith's gym.
Absolutely. Francis, just want to get your thoughts. Obviously, announced a couple of hours ago, Sky Sports box office, a man you worked with in the past, Amir Khan, Kell Brook. A lot of people say... you're right, actually, both of them. A lot of people say 5-6 years too late, but is it still going to be as fascinating as it could have been 5-6 years ago?
I'll watch it, and I think a lot of people will watch it. It would have been lovely to have seen it 5-6 years ago. Listen, I'm not even the ins and outs of it. They're getting it on now. I'll watch it, and it's intriguing. And the skill levels and the fitness levels, at the same height as they were. No, but are they both fighters and fighting men who want to go and do some damage to the other guy? Yeah, so I'll watch it. That's it.
I know Amir hasn't fought for 2.5 years. I think his last fight was Billy Dibbs in Saudi Arabia. Before that was Crawford. Kell hasn't fought for about 12 months. His last fight was Crawford as well. So they both haven't fought for a long time. They're both hitting the mid-30s now. Who wins?
Instinct says Amir. I think if he's still got that, some hand speed, which he will do, and he can in and out like he, I think for 3 or 4 rounds, if Amir can get on top of Kell, I think I fancy Amir to win. However, Kell's, he's a smooth operator, Kell Brook. So I'd say a pick on. It's an intriguing fight, but I would pick Amir to win, and just on speed alone.
Knockout or stop it? Knockout or points?
I think Amir might stop Kell. Yeah, I think he might stop him. I think. I think accumulation, speed, of speed and power. I think Amir might do a job on Kell.
Okay, Francis, my nuts are freezing, the mic's freezing, and I'm sure you're freezing because your leg can't stop shaking as well.
I think my toes have gone blue. It's like my boots. It's good to see you though, mate. How's things?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, I did see you when we last bumped each other. A couple of weeks ago. Yeah. At the York Hall show.
That's it, yeah.
It wasn't a long time ago.
Was it a week's a long time in politics? 2 weeks is a long time in boxing.
It is indeed. Well, let's look forward to the show. Obviously, press conference on Thursday, weigh-in on Friday, and then, the big one on Saturday night. So, roll on Saturday night.
See you down there.
Francis Warren for IFL TV. Thank you very much.